All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to talk about this Sean O'Malley and Pedro Munhoz fight. So I did a video about this the day after the fight, and in between when I filmed it and when I was going to upload it, Pedro Munhoz released that picture of his eye appearing to be swollen shut. And the position that I had taken in the video, I was like, maybe I should sit tight. And I'll explain exactly what I mean, because I'm going to actually now double down on the same opinion and tell you that I've spoken to quite a few people who were like the universal kind of accepted narrative, without throwing anybody under the bus or anything, but like the kind of in the community itself, a lot of people think that Pedro Munhoz is looking for a way out. And here's the thing. I can't say that for sure. But I could say that I can make a really, really strong take in terms of why he would have been looking for a way out, beyond anything that I've seen on any other channels. So let's just start there. Oh, one really quick thing. So the Jordan's contest for June, we did the drawing. There are 5 people that have been drawn. We're going to do a live quiz show on the channel for the 5 finalists. I just emailed all 5 of you guys. If you did not, if you don't respond inside of 24 to 36 hours, I got to draw somebody else, because we're going to do this thing. I'm going to have a bunch of people on the channel. We're going to do a quiz show, and then the person who wins gets the Jordans. You're going to have to answer real quick. There's not going to be enough time for you to cheat. So, we're just going to do round robin UFC MMA trivia. And last person standing wins, and you'll get the J's. And everyone will know your name, because you have to show your face. If your camera's not on, you can't do it. That's how it works. Anyway, so but thank you to everybody who entered, and we're gonna do something real fun this month. I'll tell you about it shortly. Anyway, so here's the thing. When it comes to this narrative of Pedro looking for a way out, this is like, people are saying that he was looking like, oh yeah, he was looking for a way out, whatever. I haven't heard anyone really put any kind of intelligent thought behind why, because like there's a lot of reasons why a fighter wants out of a fight, right? Now, there are certain fighters who would never want out of a fight, no matter what, under any circumstances. And there are other guys where they've got other things going on in their life that are going to contribute heavily to them taking advantage of a situation like that. I'll get into that in a second, though. But the first thing I want to say is this. So Sean O'Malley, when he came out and did the press conference, right, he said that he believes Pedro Munhoz is looking for a way out because he was dominating the fight. And they told O'Malley that 2 judges scored the first round for Pedro Munhoz.
2 of the judges actually scored the first round for Pedro.
Judges don't know. Have those judges kick me, and I'll check their kick, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, that hurt. That's a strike for me."
Which is insane. He didn't land a single head strike. None. Not one. And I realized people were like, "Oh, but he was landing a lot of leg kicks." Was he though? That's the thing, dude. It's very hard to tell. Like, you can see, like, you have to have an incredibly trained eye to be able to tell whether the kick is getting checked or not. And just to be crystal clear, for anybody who doesn't know what it feels like to have your kick checked, I want you to look at this picture right here, because this picture demonstrates exactly why the difference between a flush leg kick and a kick that got checked is 180 degrees different. Look at that picture, dude. Who do you think is going to get hurt right there? You think it's going to, like, ankle versus knee? Like, knee that is checked in a way that's prepared for you to kick it, okay? It's like kicking a steel pole. Like, you get a leg checked, or you get a kick checked, it hurts you a hell of a lot more than it hurts the other guy. I mean, just straight up. Like, how do you feel like it would feel if you just tattooed a pole with your shin? That's what it's like. And so when O'Malley says he was checking all the kicks, I mean, this picture demonstrates that that's probably accurate. He certainly checked this one. He absolutely checked this one. And some other people that I talked to who have even more trained eyes than me were like, yeah, no, he was checking those. And so if he was checking the kicks, then you got to go back and put yourself in Pedro Munhoz's position, right? So Pedro Munhoz, why did they pick him for this fight? You know, why is Pedro Munhoz fighting Sean O'Malley? Okay, because the answer is always going to be the same with O'Malley. It's going to be the person who can propel O'Malley's career as high as possible while posing the least amount of risk, okay? The UFC will dump 8 people. They will dump their career in the toilet to promote Sean O'Malley's, period. Like this, and this is not personal towards any of these guys, okay? Any of the guys that they would dump into the toilet for O'Malley, like, this is business, right? Like, all of these guys had their opportunity to be an O'Malley, okay? But the entire sport is built around superstars. It just is what it is, dude. Like, you can't, that is how you run this business. I was just watching a special Napoleon Bonaparte did about, oh my God. The wrestler that came in and, wow. I partied hard yesterday. My poor brain. CM Punk, Jesus. Man, that's concerning. Anyway, so about CM Punk, and he was showing how when the UFC signed CM Punk, it was a way down year. Like, it showed their pay-per-views, like the pay-per-view buys were super low that year. And it's a great documentary. You guys should definitely watch it. But it was all about like how the lack of any real stars is what happened. It was like before, it's like you know, I can't remember if it was right before or right after Ronda and Conor, like before that, is it right before or right after that era? And you know, and on both sides of it, it was literally like this, whoop, you know, so like it was just a down year because there weren't any stars. Like, that is this business, okay? Just having fights on does not drive pay-per-views the way that a star fighting does. Okay, even if like guys that you and I, like if you, I mean, I have come to accept and not accept, but like embrace the fact that people who watch my channel are primarily real MMA fans. You know, like I've got a handful of like whatevers that just they come here and who knows. But I would say 95% of the people who watch my channel are like legit hard MMA fans, and so all of us obviously know that, you know, that like that, and, you know, pick any 2 amazing guys that don't have big names where we'd be like, oh my God, dude, that fight's going to be bananas. I mean, I could name a billion fights like that. But the casual fan is what buys or drives the like real numbers. The real numbers come from casuals that are like, oh wait, who's fighting? And you can't just create one out of nowhere. You can't do it. It cannot be done. It can't be done. You cannot create a star, okay? You cannot create a star. Like, when I hear guys being like, you know, well, the UFC's not promoting me. I'm like, in some cases that can be accurate, but the UFC, it's like any other business metric, man. Like you're driving, you want to fill demand, and then you want to throttle demand, right? Like, you don't want to, like, if you try to create demand, it's hard. If there's demand for a person, they'll feed it. Like, you think they just created Conor McGregor out of nowhere? You think that you think they just kind of like create these guys? There's a person who can be a star for a multitude of reasons, and they're very rare. And when you get one, you have to hold on to it and protect it like a diamond. And Sean O'Malley has the highest ceiling of anyone in the UFC right now that's not Conor McGregor, period. Like, his earning potential for the company is so astronomical. It's hard to exaggerate. I realize a lot of people are gonna be like, nah, man, you don't. I'm telling you, if you disagree with me on that, you do not know what you're talking about. And I'm saying that I will say that to the hardcore MMA fans that watch this channel, that if you disagree with that, then you, like, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Like, you're just wrong. Because the only people that would disagree about that are people who don't like O'Malley. And I'd be like, okay, that's cool, but are you going to buy his show? Like, you going to buy the pay-per-view? I mean, I don't know. Yes, you are, dude. Yes, you are. He's objectively exciting. That, like, he's like, his fighting style is amazing. He's a super compelling guy on camera. He pisses people off on purpose. He is by far the largest ceiling of anybody who's not already like a complete super. I mean, he's borderline even say he's a superstar now. He goes up and he wins the belt. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think people can actually get in front of it. I don't think people can get in front of that, like can't put themselves in that position where it's like really think about it. If O'Malley wins the title and then defends his title, like try to imagine how huge of a star he'll be. And then tell me what non-title holder has even a remote chance of being as big of a star as him. There's no one. It's actually not even fucking close. It's not even fucking close. There's no one even in the conversation of how high his ceiling is. And so the UFC, of course, is going to give him the most favorable matchups because it's business. It's just fucking business, man. So the reason they picked Pedro Munhoz, as I come back to the point I was making, is because he had lost 4 of 5, okay? All tough fights. No one kicked his fucking ass. Real tough fights, dude. Like, Pedro Munhoz is dangerous, super dangerous. But guess what? And I'm not saying he's a pussy either. Because what I'm saying is, like, I think it is likely that he was looking for a way out of that fight because the eye poke doesn't look that bad. Like, it just doesn't, dude. The eye poke does not look bad. No one's going to convince me it looks bad. It doesn't mean his eye's not injured. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is, like, I've seen some horrendous eye pokes, and so have all you guys, all hardcore fans. You know what an ugly ass, eye poke looks like. That wasn't one of them. That said, the eye is crazy, okay? I got my eye straight up injured to where there's no chance I would have been able to continue if I was in a fight in a fucking dance club in Arizona. Now, in my case, I had just had PRK surgery on my eye. And so my epithelial, I think that's the word, like the skin that like lives over your eye was super fragile because I'd just gotten it done. Because like basically if you get LASIK, they cut a flap, they have to move it, they do the LASIK surgery, whatever. With PRK, they go straight through the eyeball, and so like with LASIK, you fucking fall asleep, you wake up, you have 20/15 vision. With PRK, you're basically fucking blind for 2 weeks, and the only reason you do it is because if you're a fighter, like if you fight, it's not recommended to do LASIK. Like basically he's like, so, what, I don't know. Like I asked him, I'm like, look, so I do some fighting sometimes. Like what's my, with getting punched in the head. And he was like, you should do PRK because you don't want to get the flap dislodged. So that's why I did it. Anyway, they recommended it because LASIK, you can get your eye super fucked up afterwards. Anyway, so this girl at a club like went like this, and her fucking finger hit me in the eye and just scraped all of the skin off of my, literally like I don't even think she realized she did it. Like we weren't even with her. I went to urgent care the next day, and there was a scratch that looked like a fucking axe wound across my eye. It hurt. I literally cannot even explain to you guys how much it hurt, dude. Like it hurt so fucking bad. And this was a long time ago. And so I will tell you that when I went to urgent care, they gave me 60 oxys. And I was like, holy shit, this was fucking worth it. Jackpot. Which is insane, but a true story. But when you go in there, they can put these drops in your eye, and that makes it like neon. So you could see wounds. And so anyway, them saying that Pedro Munhoz's eye had a wound straight through the cornea, if that's true, then it's legit. Because I could testify personally to having had that happen. And I like words, I can't even describe to you how much it hurt. The only way I fell asleep was I was fucking annihilated drunk. I had to actually, I've never done this before. I've never done it before or since. I had to get wasted to be able to fall asleep because it hurt so much. It was too late at night to go like to the urgent care at the time. And so like I was actually taking shots in the hotel room because my eye hurt so bad I wasn't going to be able to sleep otherwise. So I just forced myself to pass out and then went straight to urgent care in the morning. So like, I could say firsthand, if it's legit, it's legit. That said, the picture that he took, with his eye, like, oh my God, my eye doesn't look that swollen to me. Like his eye doesn't look that swollen. Again, I'm not saying that it's not. It just, to me, the eye poke doesn't look that bad. His eye doesn't look swollen. And here's why he would have been looking for a way out. If he's getting all those those kicks checked, okay? If he's getting those checked, now to a stupid fucking judge that doesn't know what they're looking at, yeah, like, oh, it looks like he's landing vicious leg kicks. Well, how does it feel in there? You throw a kick at a guy and he checks it, and your ankle feels like it just exploded in your fucking leg. Like, do you feel like you're winning the fight? You know? Like, do you think you can objectively know that the judges are not capable of telling the difference between a solid calf kick and a checked kick? Because to Munhoz, he is going off of, is he actually winning the fight in his mind? Because, and here's the point, he's lost 4 of 5. He's lost 4 out of 5 fights, okay? He's up against O'Malley. He's not an idiot. He knows why he's in there. And so in his mind, it's like, he's a fight away from getting cut, dude. I mean, maybe not necessarily because he's still a really tough guy. But like in his mind, he's thinking if I lose this fight, I might get cut. He trains the whole training camp just like my life's on the fucking line, dude. Like my life is on the line. My family's life. I mean, I don't know if he has a wife and kids. I assume he probably does, just given his age. And it's like, dude, I'm fighting for my fucking family. And then to go in there and after a training camp like that, when he's fighting O'Malley, right? Where he knows if he wins, it catapults him, right? And then after 1 round, you've landed 0 head strikes, 0, not 1 head strike. And every kick that you threw got checked. And so your calf is on fire. Like you have had no success against him at all. 0, no success, none, 0. And then you take an eye poke. And in your mind, it's not like, oh, like it's impossible that you're not going to start spinning yourself up, dude. Like you're facing oblivion. Getting cut by the UFC if you're a UFC fighter is oblivion. And so like to him, he's like, dude, if I, beat it out of this one, at least I can come back and fight again. At least I won't get cut. Like I won't get cut and then I can come back and fight again. And that's why I think if he did look for a way out, I actually don't have a huge problem with it personally. I don't have a huge problem with it because I understand what it's like to be responsible for a wife and kids. And basically, you do anything to be able to take care of them. And the feeling of not being able to take care of them is so soul crushing that it's like, you can't even, I can't describe it. But the thing about being a professional fighter is they all know that's coming. I mean, for a certain period of their career, they can chase the dragon and really go for it. And some of these guys make it, dude. Like some of these guys make it. Like you look at you look at fighter pay and it's like, man, this guy's only making, 250. Like that doesn't seem like that much money. It's like, dude, he fought 3 times last year. Yeah. He made $1.5 million last year. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of fucking money, dude. Right. And you could say, I mean, listen, if they go out and spend all their money, I mean, does it like if they spend all that, then if you would have paid them $10 million, they'd have spent all that. But most people don't get to that level. Like most people don't ever get to, they don't sniff fucking 250. The vast majority of people don't. And so, call it 90% of the fighter base is just fighting, trying to get to that stage. And as they get older and, they take 2 losses in a row, they start to realize like, I'm probably not going to get there. Right. And once they're like 32 years old, then you start getting to that thing where you're like, it's do or die on this fight. And it's true. They're not lying to themselves. It's actually true. It is fucking do or die. You have to win. And guess what? You can't just win because you want to. And so everyone knows they're facing that oblivion at a certain point, dude. Like being a professional fighter is a tough life. Like it's a tough life. And I hear professional fighters talk about that all the time. And a lot of times I want to be like, yes, it is. But being not a professional fighter is fucking hard too, man. In many ways, much harder. Like you go and you train, you do a thing that you love to do every day. Some people get fired from a job they hated anyway. And so the only prospects they've had their whole life are fucking shit jobs. They can't even get one of those, dude. People have it a hell of a lot worse. But living the dream while you're a professional fighter, but knowing on the end of this journey is going to be oblivion is a soul-crushing feeling, an absolutely soul-crushing feeling. And so you get a guy in there who's fucking spun himself up over multiple months, like everything's on the fucking line. And you realize halfway through the second round, you're not going to win, dude. Like, you're not going to fucking win. He's piecing you up now, dude. Everything he's landed 0 fucking head strikes. He's landed 0 head strikes, not 1. You think that was his fucking plan? You like going into the fight, he's like, yeah, I'm going to throw a bunch of leg kicks that get checked every time. And I'm going to throw a bunch of, punches that O'Malley easily slides out of range and then hits me, on the comeback. It's like everything was going wrong in his mind. And the fact that two judges scored the first round for him is, I don't know how you make it more clear that a kick gets checked, because it is like if the judges are watching the screens like they are most of the time, it's fucking hard. It is really hard to tell just watching television whether a guy checked a kick. You're talking about millimeters, dude. Like, if your leg is here, it's like he just folded your calf. If it's here, you just folded his fucking ankle, or like here, if you're here, fucking calf in half. And if you're here, you broke his ankle. It's really hard to tell on television. But anyway, that is why I think if Pedro Munhoz wanted out, that's why. And I totally understand. But it sucks for O'Malley because he was looking very, very sharp. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace.